You are going to fail again and again. And I need you to understand something. That is exactly how this is supposed to work. Every person you admire has a graveyard of failures behind them. Failed attempts, failed plans, failed years. You just never saw them. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the raw material, the price of admission. Most people refuse to pay it. So they stand on the sidelines, protecting a perfect record of never trying. Don't you dare become one of them. When you fall, and you will fall, the ground is not your enemy. The ground is where you learn to stand. Look at your last failure. Really look at it. Somewhere inside that wreckage is the exact lesson you needed to go further. The fire that burns you is the same fire that forges you. The difference is whether you stay long enough to be shaped. Rock bottom has one gift. It is solid, it is honest, and it is the strongest foundation you will ever build on. Stop asking why this happened to you. Start asking what this is teaching you. That one question changes everything. You think you are behind? Good. Hungry people run harder than comfortable people. Comfort is where dreams go to sleep. Nobody is coming to save you. And once you stop waiting for rescue, you discover you were the rescue all along. Every rep you didn't want to do, every morning you got up anyway. That is where the new you is being built. Fail forward. Fall on your face if you must, but fall facing the direction you were headed. One day you will look back at the thing that broke you and realize it was the thing that built you. So get up, not tomorrow, not Monday, now, because the version of you on the other side of this failure is waiting. First comes the silence. The phone stops ringing. The doubters do not even bother doubting you out loud anymore. It is just you now. This is the moment that separates the ones who make it. Not talent, not luck. The willingness to sit in the ruins and start counting the bricks. Every comeback in history started the same way. Somebody alone in a room deciding the story was not over. That decision costs nothing, and it changes everything. You do not need anyone's permission to begin again. You do not need applause to take the first step. You need one honest hour of work, then another, then another. Comebacks are not built in montages. They are built in Tuesdays, ordinary, unglamorous, repeated Tuesdays. The world loves a comeback story, but the world only shows up for the ending. You have to survive the beginning by yourself. So stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth told by people who never started. You get ready by starting. A mot force me of Stillerite is their violent present for Southern rhythm. Take inventory of what the failure left you. You still have your mind. You still have your hands. You still have time. That is enough. Champions are not people who never got knocked down. They are people who got knocked down in public and got up in private. Your comeback does not have to be loud. It has to be daily. Quiet consistency terrifies the people who bet against you. One day they will call it overnight success. You will know it was 400 mornings nobody saw. Let them think it was magic. The scoreboard does not remember how badly you were losing at halftime. It only remembers the final score. Keep playing, because the difference between a failure and a comeback is simply this. A failure is a story that stopped. A comeback is a story that refused. Now I need to tell you the truth about motivation. It is a liar. It shows up when everything is easy and vanishes the moment you need it. Motivation got you to start. It will not get you to finish. Nothing worth building gets finished on feelings. It gets finished on discipline. Discipline is doing the work on the day you have every excuse not to, especially on that day. That day counts double. You will wake up some mornings and feel nothing. No fire, no vision, just tired. Work anyway. The feeling follows the action, not the other way around. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Professionals go to work. The difference between them is not talent. It is a decision made every single morning. Discipline is a muscle. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, it grows. Every time you break one, it bleeds. So start with small promises. Wake up when you said you would. Do the 10 minutes you said you would do. Keep the promise. Then raise it. You do not rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your habits. Build habits that catch you. The gym does not care how you feel. The page does not care how you feel. The work only asks one question. Did you show up? I believe human with every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Cast the vote. Comfort will negotiate with you every single day. It will offer you tomorrow at the price of today. Never take that deal. How is no one explained? There is a version of you that exists on the other side of 1,000 disciplined days. The only thing standing between you is the day. Nobody is disciplined all the time. You will slip. The skill is not perfection. The skill is returning. Return fast. Because discipline, in the end, is just love with work boots on. It is you, caring about your future self enough to sweat for them. Let us talk about fear. That thing sitting on your chest at 3 in the morning. That voice asking, who do you think you are? Here is the secret nobody tells you. Fear does not go away. Not for anyone. The brave are just people who stopped waiting for it to leave. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a compass. The thing you are most afraid to do is usually the thing you most need to do. You are not afraid of failing. You have already failed and survived. You are afraid of being seen trying. Read that again. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Every mythology on earth tells that story because it is true. Comfort is the first ingredient under an answer to disease. Comfort is the most expensive thing you will ever own. It cost you every dream you ever had, paid out slowly, one easy day at a time. Nobody drowns by falling in the water. They drown by staying there. Fear becomes fatal only when you build a house in it. Ask yourself what the fear is actually protecting you from. Embarrassment. That is it. A feeling that lasts a week. Your dreams last a lifetime. The worst-case scenario is almost never death. It is usually just a hard conversation and a bruised ego. You can survive both. Every person you admire was terrified at the exact moment they did the thing you admire them for. Terrified. They did it scared. Do it scared. Apply scared. Launch scared. Ask scared. Scared is not the opposite of brave. Scared is the raw material of brave, as Andithat Boki. And one day you will notice the fear got quieter. Not because it left, because your voice got louder than it. Regret weighs tons. Fear weighs pounds. At the end of your life, you will not remember the fear. You will remember what it stopped you from doing. So make fear your employee. Let it sharpen you, check you, prepare you, but never, ever let it sign the decisions. Somebody your age just sold a company. Somebody younger just bought a house. And you are watching it all from a screen, feeling behind. Stop. Comparison is a game with no finish line and no winner. There will always be someone ahead of you in something. Always. You are comparing your chapter 3 to somebody else's chapter 20. Of course it looks worse. You have not written the middle yet, and you are comparing your inside to their outside, their highlight reel against your bloopers. That is not comparison. That is self-harm. Some people bloom at 20, some at 40, some at 60. The flower does not apologize for the season it blooms in. The only person you are racing is the person you were yesterday. Beat them by 1%, and you won the day. Nobody who is actually building looks sideways for long. Watch the sprinters. The ones who look at other lanes lose speed. Run your race. Envy is just admiration that got lost. When you feel it, redirect it. Let it show you what you want. Then go work for it. Your timeline is not late. It is yours. The universe does not issue deadlines. People do. And people are guessing. Success delayed is not success denied. Some of the strongest trees grow slowest. The roots are doing work the eyes cannot see. Measure yourself in mornings you showed up, in skills that did not exist last year, in the person your struggle is carving. The moment you stop performing your life for an audience and start living it for a purpose, everything gets lighter and faster. 1 year of focused, uncompared, undistracted work on your own lane will change your life more than 10 years of watching theirs. So close the feed, open the work. The people you are comparing yourself to are busy. That is the whole secret. They are busy. Pain is information. That ache you feel when you think about the thing that broke, that is not weakness. That is unfinished wisdom. You can waste pain or you can invest it. Wasted pain becomes bitterness. Invested pain becomes wisdom, fuel, and unshakable depth. Ask the pain what it came to teach. Every wound carries a lesson with your name on it. Most people never open the envelope. The strongest people you know were not born strong. They were broken in exactly the places they later became unbreakable. A bone that heals grows back thicker at the break. So does a will. So does a heart, if you let it heal instead of just hide. Do not numb it. Numbing pain does not shrink it. It just postpones it with interest. Feel it, name it, and put it to work. Your hardest season is producing your best material. The empathy, the grit, the depth. You cannot buy those. You can only earn them. One day, someone will be drowning in the exact storm you survived. Your scars will be their map. Your pain has a future purpose. The fire you walked through did not consume you. Look down. You are still here, which means the fire works for you now. Pressure is not the enemy of diamonds. It is the recipe. What is crushing you might be forming you. Hold on long enough to find out. There are 2 kinds of pain in this life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. You do not get to skip both. Choose. The pain of discipline weighs ounces and pays dividends. The pain of regret weighs tons and charges interest. Same choice every day. So thank the hard thing, not because it was good, because you made something good out of it. That power is yours forever. Nothing that ever grew comfortable. Not muscles, not minds, not empires. Growth has one price, and pain is its currency. Here is the least glamorous truth in the world. The secret to everything is showing up, unremarkably, over and over, for years. Everybody wants the transformation. Nobody wants the Tuesday afternoons. But the transformation is made entirely out of Tuesday afternoon. One workout changes nothing. One page changes nothing. One call changes nothing. And done daily for 2 years, they change absolutely everything. Small things done consistently beat big things done occasionally. Every time. In money, in muscle, in love, in craft. Every time. The drip of water defeats the stone. Not through force, through appointment. It shows up every second, and the stone cannot outlast it. You do not need to be extraordinary today. You need to be ordinary today, and tomorrow, and the day after, without stopping. That becomes extraordinary. Consistency is a language. It tells your doubts, your family, and your future exactly who you are. Speak it fluently. The scariest competitor is not the talented one. It is the one who never misses. Talent takes days off. Relentless does not. Motivation asks how you feel. Consistency asks where you were. Only one of those questions builds anything that lasts. Boring is the price of legendary. Every legend is just somebody who did the boring thing so long it became a miracle. Some seasons you will not see progress. Growth goes underground in winter. Keep watering. Roots are being built where you cannot see. Do not break the chain. And if you break the chain, do not break it twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is a decision. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Be the river. The rock does not get a vote. Show up when it is raining. Show up when nobody claps. Show up when it feels pointless, especially then. That is when it counts. Now, the deepest part. You will never consistently outperform the person you believe you are. Never. The ceiling is inside. Change the identity, and the actions follow. Do not try to run a marathon. Become a runner. Runners run. It is just what they do. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to be. No single vote decides it, but the votes add up. They always add up. Stop saying, "I am trying to quit." Say, "I am not a person who does that anymore." Watch how differently the temptation treats you. I came some Parzimelliant, but Nortajas in price. You were not born a failure or a success. You were born a builder. An identity is the first thing you were given to build. Mantains Tornet. The labels they gave you in school, at home, in that old job. Those were opinions, not prophecies. You are allowed to outgrow every one. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. You would never let a friend speak to you the way your inner critic does. The words "after I am" follow you around all day and build your life. Choose them like your future depends on it. Because it does. Act like the person you are becoming until the acting stops being acting. That is not fake. That is how every real change has ever worked. The old you had a good run. Thank them for surviving. But survival was their job. Yours is different. Yours is to build. You will feel like an imposter at first. Good. That feeling means you are in new territory. Imposters are just pioneers who have not settled yet. Protect your identity like an asset. Guard what you watch, who you hear, what you repeat about yourself. Inputs become beliefs. Beliefs become ceilings. One decision, held long enough, becomes a personality. One personality, held long enough, becomes a destiny. It starts with one held decision. So decide who you are, out loud, on purpose. Today, the world will eventually agree with whoever you insist on becoming. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything. And the modern world has sold you a lie that there is an escalator. There is no escalator. Play long games. The person thinking in decades will always beat the person thinking in weekends. Time is a weapon. Aim it. You planted the seed on Monday. Do not dig it up on Friday to check if it is growing. Trust the dirt. Do the watering. Overnight success takes about 10 years. Ask anyone who has one. The night was long. They just never let it turn into surrender. Impatience has cost more dreams than failure ever did. Most people do not fail. They quit at minute 59 of the darkest hour. The bamboo spends 5 years building roots underground before it breaks the surface. Then it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Be the bamboo. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. It works on money, on skills, on relationships, on reps. But only if you stay in the game. Every master was once a disaster who did not quit. Every expert was a beginner who kept their appointment with the work. Slow progress is still progress. A 1% improvement is invisible today and undeniable in a year. Stack the invisible days. You are not behind schedule. You are in the part of the story where the character develops. Nobody skips this chapter and stays interesting. Rest if you must. Rest is part of the work. But there is a difference between resting and quitting. Know it in your bones. The finish line does not care how fast you started. Marathons are won in the back half. Yours has not even begun. Someday, you will stand on the other side of all this waiting, and you will realize the waiting was the forge. It was never wasted. Patience is not passive. It is the most active thing there is. It is holding your position under fire. Hold your position. So here we are. End of the message. Beginning of your move. Everything you just heard means nothing unless the next hour changes. Do not wait for January. Do not wait for Monday. The calendar is not your boss. This exact moment is the only start line that exists. Write the plan tonight. Not the perfect plan, the honest one. One goal, one habit, one promise you will die keeping. Then tell nobody. Let the results do the announcing. Move in silence and let success make the noise on your behalf. There will be a morning soon when the alarm rings and every cell in your body votes no. That morning is the entire war. Win it. And when you slip, because you will slip, remember this. The fall is not the failure. Staying down is. You know that now. A year from today, you will either have 12 months of excuses or 12 months of evidence. The clock starts the same for both. Think about the people. Counting on the version of you that you keep postponing. They are waiting too. Some of them are not even born yet. You have been through worse than this, and you are still breathing, still here, still capable. That is not luck. That is proof. The gift of failure was never the fall. It was the fact that the fall introduced you to a floor you can push off from. So push. Push with everything the doubters gave you. Push with every no, every setback, every closed door. They loaded the spring. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a draft, not somebody else's script. Yours. And it is waiting for your next move. So get up, not tomorrow, not Monday, now, because the version of you on the other side of this failure is waiting.